So today is 11/11 of 2021. Welcome to the Mother Mary broadcast, both those of you that are here enjoying the energy and those of you that enjoy the energy later. My name is Samara Grace. I'm a conscious channel, Reiki master teacher, and all around seeker of joy. And tonight's broadcast is really going to be talking about not only November, where we are right now, but into 2022, because believe it or not, we're not that far away from 2022. It's just weeks away. And so as most of us have gone through 2021 with a little bit of a roller coaster ride, speaking for myself anyway, and most of us, one gets a little curious about, okay, so things going to go back to normal in 2022? Is it going to calm down? Are we going to have, world peace? Are the politicians actually going to do something worthwhile? Are people going to be kind? Will we stop having confrontations over whether or not you're wearing a mask? Like what is 2022 going to bring? And so I've asked Mother Mary to kind of talk about that tonight and give us maybe a little first aid kit, that we can carry with us to help us in the times that are troublesome, or difficult. And so I'll be giving that message first, and then I'll turn off the recording, and the loyal band of people that have shown up will have some extra time to take any comments or questions that you might offer. So just take a breath and invite the presence of Divine Mother Mary, the great mother for all of us, to be here now with us, blessing us on this beautiful day, and offering what she can see and what the perspective is to help us lead lives of compassion and gentleness and creativity and joy. So hello to everyone. And I think what I want to say more than anything is thank you. And you might think, thank you for what? For showing up. In this life, there's a lot of people sort of hiding behind whatever form of camouflage they're choosing, right? Whatever form of camouflage they're choosing. They don't want to show up and greet each other as you were each doing, and laugh and love each other. And they're all just sort of going about their business, And so I want to thank you, because each and every one of you on this call, you wouldn't be on the call unless you really had a heart to live a life of joy. You'd be doing something else. And so I just really want to say thank you, because the sacrifice of the human journey takes its toll, right? It takes its toll. And sometimes it's heavier than others. Sometimes it's more challenging than other opportunities. And so as you look through the lens of gratitude, what begins to happen is that although certainly in each person's life, there are things that you would prefer were different, right? But if you look through the lens of gratitude, which slows you back down into seeing a flower or an animal or having something joyful or a funny video or whatever it was, what starts to happen is the anxiety level in your body decreases. So gratitude increases peacefulness and joy. Otherwise, you start to wonder, oh my God, I wonder when this will end and that will end, and what will this be and what will that be? And all of a sudden, your whole body begins to vibrate with worry and concern, and really borrowing a future that isn't here yet. So I thank you for showing up, and I'm just suggesting that today and the rest of this year, and before the new year gong bell drops, whatever they're doing this year, that you have like a little notebook of gratitude. Some of you already do this practice, but you don't always write it down. And the reason to write it down is that as you move into 2022, which I'll talk about in just a moment, it'll be very helpful to have some reminders of literally things that you experienced that bring you to gratitude. Because what you're going to find in 2022 is that all of those people who have been trying to stay hidden from life can't stay hidden, but they haven't resourced and sourced something that is benevolent for them. They haven't resourced their own gratitude. And so what is gratitude really? It's a recognition, a spiritual recognition of a human experience. I want to say that again. Gratitude is a spiritual recognition of a human experience. So what begins to happen is that the human being, rather than moving into some level of agitation, is connecting to their spirit, their heart, their love, that gratitude of, again, whatever your list includes. And so you keep yourself sort of in this sovereign place where you're no longer in the flotsam and jetsam, of what's going on. So having that beautiful little gratitude journal, stick some in your car or your pocket or, wherever you're going. And when something would otherwise trigger you, someone cuts you off in a car or does something or, whatever they're doing, rather than moving into your reaction about whatever they're doing or not doing, you take your little list out of your pocket for a moment, as long as it's safe, not when you're driving, and you think, oh, remember seeing that child's face smile as they ate their ice cream, whatever, right? Because in that moment, what you're doing literally is recalibrating your energy system, so that rather than being in a state of reaction to something out here, you're completely in this place of sovereignty. And so they've cut you off or they've done whatever they've done, and but it doesn't enter the field of your reality. You might not want to drive close to them again, you make your decisions. But the reality is that in this time that we're in, much of the world is still mourning what they think of as the good old days. And, certainly there were things in the past that were good, but there were many that were not. And so if you want to move into a future that carries a vibration that keeps you happy, the first job is to be that vibration, right? To be that vibration. And so by doing any number of things that help you to feel that and to feel gratitude, you're fueling your own system. You're no longer at the mercy of whatever's going on out there. The other thing that's really wonderful is, I think more and more, like we're doing tonight on Zoom, you'll find heart friends, Heart. I'm stumbling a little bit, heart friends. And you call them, or you Zoom, or you send an email or a text or a funny picture or whatever. And so the network of heart friends exchanges a vibratory field that is uplifting. And so, again, like a beautiful sort of web of light, you're held in the embrace of knowing that here's this beautiful Jenny in Colorado. Here's beautiful Jill in Ohio. Here's beautiful Zing and beautiful Elaine. And, all of you are just so magnificent. And so if you're able and choosing and willing, you begin to realize, when I send a sweet message to Dee, right, in Connecticut, she might smile. And maybe that was a day when she could use a little oomph, right, a little lift. and vice versa. So it's not complicated. It's not complicated, but it is intentional. It's intending to be a loving person and realizing that right now, that's not necessarily the focus of the majority of people who are rummaging through the past, trying to reconstruct something that really wasn't that good in the first place. So for this time of November and into December, to just have that gratitude list, and to the extent that it feels happy to you, reach out to your heart friends and exchange simple, beautiful hellos in, again, whatever manner, feels right to you. So then what happens is you now have built a new boat. We talked about that one other time. So it's like you're sailing in your own sea, and the wake that you leave is one of joy and gratitude. And so the world profits from that in every interchange that you are involved in, and your own spirit is lifted by your own joy, but also in the little droplets of joy that you share as you move around, as you go from place to place. And this web of light that I'm speaking about extends not only nationally or internationally, it's quite galactic. So you begin to realize that there's many, many legions of light, let's just put it that way, that want to support more light on the planet, just as there are some who have the opposite point of view. So how do you share light? You live it. You feed yourself lots of gratitude. And then you share it with your friends. Now, that might sound kind of exclusive, but I'll tell you what happens next, right? But it's, I forget who it was who said it's an inside job. It does start there, but it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. So once you have done that, you've created your sovereignty, you've got your gratitude, you realize that everybody's out there doing what they're doing, but it doesn't have to penetrate your field. You connect with the others that have open hearts and like-mindedness and love to get a funny video or whatever you want to share. What starts to happen next, and this is going to be my message really in December, is that you begin to feel safe enough to share your deepest dreams. And it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. And the reason I'm saying to just begin in this way and to look at December as the time to share your dreams is that the level of frustration and disappointment and anger in the world is not always the most fertile soil for the tenderness of dreams. So by establishing yourself and then these wonderful connections of light, it buoys up your own capacity to dream again. And now in December, we'll be daring to dream again and talking about, well, I'm going to pick on Zing for just a moment. Not only did she write this wonderful book, she said, I'm just going to go on tour. I'm going to take my heart and my love and my message wherever I can. And so she began to call and write, right? And some people said no or whatever, but it didn't stop her. Because you, Zing, in what you've recently done, has just created this fairy sovereignty, this fairy world, right? That has strengthened you so much. and the confidence in your own knowing, in your own capacity. And the other little taste that's so important is the surrender into, for some people, you're not their cup of tea, you know, and you're fine with that, because what that does then is it just eases your road. Because the people that say, oh, we'd love to have you come, absolutely, come on, well, that's where you're meant to be. And someone else who says, well, you know, I'm quite busy on Tuesdays, you know, well, then you say, well, have a good day, right? So what starts to happen, and this is why I'm bringing Zing into the picture, because it's literally happening for her starting early next year, right? It's already happening, but it's it's becoming global. And that is the kind of thing that is really possible for everyone. But it does take, and I'm going to go back, I'm being a teacher tonight, I'm going to go back to, you have to believe in yourself. And you have to believe in the worthiness of your own dreams and the energy you want to bring wherever you're going. You have to. The second part of this, though, is once you have that, having this beautiful network of loving friends and people who greet you with respect and acknowledgement takes you out of what I'll call the old fray, right? The old fray of knocking on doors and, you know, all that sort of thing. It puts you at a different frequency. And I think, you know, our beautiful Elaine has been doing this for a long time with her peace projects, and she knows the magic of going to Egypt and writing books and, you know, all of that. And, you know, you've done a tremendous amount of connecting and resourcing, and, you know, you may feel like, why wasn't it bigger? Sometimes people feel that. Well, again, each connection that you make is really a multiplicity of connections. It isn't only this person or that person. And at the same time, on a sort of a earthly scale, the old paradigm of, well, you know, what you're talking about, Elaine, is very nice, but is there any money in it for me, right? You know, that's sort of the top question. You know? The irony is, of course, there could be. That isn't necessarily how it's perceived. And so what we're talking about is shifting from the perception or the response of someone saying to you, well, what's in it for me? That's not what we're building. That's not what we're building. Because the irony is, there is something for everyone in everything that we're doing. You know, Jenny's joy, by the way, Jenny, she's going to really appreciate this. She's only had a sip so far, but her friends are here, so she said, go ahead, you both start, and we'll have some. You know, and it's like understanding that it isn't about an old form of sacrifice. You know, like you have to sacrifice your life for something or someone. But it is about sort of delving into, where's my joy, and how could it be shared in the world in a way that is delicious and loving and respectful, and certainly it could make money. It's not to say it shouldn't make money, but it's shifting the priority back to what would love to hear, what would love to hear. And the generosity of the heart friends says, well, of course you can stay with me, and let me give you the name of a bookstore, and you know, it because what, you know, what does that cost you? It doesn't cost you anything, but it brings light and it helps someone else. And so the new feminine paradigm really is not what's in it for me, but how do we co-create a brighter world? How do we co-create a brighter world? And when we do that, there's something for everyone, something for everyone. So gratitude, feeling yourself, connecting with heart-centered, like-minded people, being as kind and compassionate as you can, and giving what you can, what feels right, wherever that feels like that's what's meant to be. Um, because if you looked at Earth right now the way that we see it, you know how people talk about there's 2 Earths and 3 Earths and 4 Earths and all that. There are planes of energy on your Earth right now. And you get to decide to which one do I want to play in? Which field of energy do I want to play in? Do I want to play in the what's in it for me, greed, knock you over before you knock me over? That's available. Do I want to be a complete hermit and, you know, go build a bomb shelter and stack it up with canned goods and be off the grid and, you know, eschew any human contact? Well, I guess that's for some people too. But there's a great growing light of what I call the feminine magic. It says, you know what? We all live in this world right now. We may be going somewhere else at some point, but here we are. How can we make it the most beautiful, kindest, most loving place for all of us? And that's really it. So when you feel lonely, and that does happen, you pick out your gratitude journal or your photo album or your phone that has photos on it, and you look at the people and the animals and the places that have touched you. You say thank you. And so, you know, the Dalai Lama is not a foolish man. He says, my religion is kindness. What is that? It's the kindness of recognizing beauty when you see it, kindness when you see it, love when you see it. And that's what fills you. Because in the world right now, what I call the tragedy is that it could be so simple. It could be so simple. Wake up and be kind. Wake up and live in gratitude. Wake up and sing a song. Wake up and call a friend. It's really, it's really that simple, because the field that you play in is a match for the field that you live in. You can take that to the bank. So if you want something different out there, you come inside and say, all right, what's missing for me? Do I need more quiet, more nature? Do I need to bake cookies? Do I need to have a glass of wine? You know, you all have so many wonderful, wonderful choices, but it's for you to make them rather than living or going into the plane of, oh my goodness, you know, what is this and what is that? And is COVID coming back? And, you know, for as long as humans have lived, there have been illnesses. So I would like you to worry a little less. Do what your body and your heart and your mind and your education tell you is best for you. And then fill yourself with love and dare to dream again. Because just imagine a world in which people not only have dreams, but they have a whole wonderful community network of people that support and love them. And they have so much joy and some sort of expression that they want to bring. That's what will bring all the solutions to the world's, you know, ills of water and pollution and all of that. Because those things live with greed. And so if you don't operate out of greed, they won't enter your space any longer. So at any rate, those who have come on the call, in just a moment, I'm going to have Samara change the video and be able to talk to you more privately. But for everyone who's coming on later to watch the video, here's Mother Mary's couple of rules for you. It's an inside job. Live in gratitude. Wake up in kindness. Share what is yours to share with joy. Connect with friends that have no agenda with you, but welcome you and love you. And create a world where your dreams come to life. Much love. Much love. And namaste from Samara. And this will be on YouTube a little later and on Facebook at Mother Mary Messages with Samara. Namaste.